Chapter 15 Devon, Monday. Home, lately, has been the highlight of my day. Before Aces, I used to avoid it as much as I could. Despite how much I love my mom and my brothers, I wanted to avoid the reminders of all the bad that happened within those four walls. From my dad leaving, to my mom struggling, to having to live and sleep in a box I share with my brothers, constantly wishing for an out. But now I run to the bed for comfort. I walk out of school, along the polished streets and past perfect homes, until I reach the unpolished parts of town, where I can't afford to look down any more. I cross the road and put my hood up, not wanting the boys in front of Dre's place to see me again. A lot of the pain and bruising from Friday has subsided. My eye still kills, but I can manage. Plus, I've been somewhat high on the pain meds Ma got from work. They numb everything. Everything but Dre. They can't distract or make me unlive Dre breaking up with me. It doesn't feel like we broke up. It feels like I've been banished. Like we can't be friends anymore. I don't even need to kiss him or love him if he doesn't want me to. I just need to be his friend. But even that's not an option. The pain meds can't stop me from caring about what people are saying in school either. What Aces will say next about me, and what it might do for my future. A figure passes me, and I look up to see a familiar shaved head, pink skin, and a green backpack. Jack? I say loudly, but he ignores me and crosses the street. I watch him fist bump one of Dre's boys, putting his backpack down as he leans against the car parked in front of with them. I'd messaged him, asked if he wanted to walk home together. He didn't reply. Jack never wanted to associate with them when I did, and now he does. My phone beeps. Want to hang out? T. I haven't heard from Terrell since Friday night, when he asked if I was okay. I look at Jack, who's taken a joint from one of the guys now, his eyes crinkled from laughing too hard at a joke one of them must have told. He turns, focusing on me. I pause, rooted to the ground as a chilling smile creeps onto his face, joint hanging from his lips. I think back to the message about him doing drugs and hanging out with Dre's boys, and how little Jack seemed to care. Maybe it wasn't him Aces wanted to get a reaction out of. What more does Aces want from me? I don't get it. They've successfully pushed away my only two friends, outed me at school, and made me lose the only way I could get some extra money for Ma. And for what? Surely there's nothing else left. I'm just going to keep my head down, concentrate on my music, and get the hell out of here. I pull my focus away from Jack's face, texting Terrell back. Sure, I'm on my way. I have a good memory. People, places, things. That's why I do well in exams. I got a really high score on my SATs, which I don't think proves whether or not I'm smart. Just that I can remember a lot of basic shit, like how to get to Terrell's place. But apparently not the important things, like who Terrell is, and when I kissed him. His house is white, with a bright red door in 63, large at the top. It has a white picket fence, but some of it has fallen over, and each panel is cracked and chipped. There's a creak of hinges, followed by the slam of wood. I look up and Terrell is there, huge smile, circular glasses, and medium dreads pulled back. You look tired, he tells me as I walk in, and we go down his short hallway, wallpaper dark green, carpeted floors black, and straight into his living room. I didn't really get a good look at Terrell's place when I came here a few days ago. First thing I notice are the shelves, brown wood, filled with well-worn books and magazines. There's a bulky, old TV in the center, placed on top of a DVD player with DVDs cramming the little shelf space beneath. School's tiring, I say, still scanning the room. Going to Nevaeh has afforded me the unwanted knowledge of what is good, expensive, and what is not. Despite the fact that the curtains are old and dark, the dining table and the wooden chairs are scratched and worn, and nothing in here is remotely expensive. It feels like it is. It's nice and homey. Nicer than I'm used to. Terrell takes a seat on the green armchair, and I settle on the bigger sofa. He watches me, and under his gaze, I feel naked. Tell me about it? He asks, and the way he does almost makes me think that he actually cares. People normally say this to further the conversation, not because they really care, but his face looks interested in my answer. Today was particularly crappy, though. Mr. Taylor wasn't in, so I couldn't use the music room outside of class time. I don't like complaining about school usually, because I guess I'm lucky I even go there. I pause, trying to think whether it's even worth going into. I usually block out the bad and move on. I never really talk things through with people, just kind of hope things will get better on their own, which they often don't. There's a lot of rumors spreading about me. I start. Terrell nods. I wonder if he's heard them too, like Dre has, or seen the pictures, or the video. Do you know who's spreading them? Why they might be doing it? I shrug. No clue. He nods again. We sit in silence, the conversation complete. How's music for you these days? He asks, which reminds me that I'm supposed to know who Terrell is. I'm applying to a few decent colleges for composition, I tell him. He perks up, interested again. Like? I hesitate. Juilliard's my first choice, and I'm trying to go for one of the scholarships. He whistles. That's tough. I nod. Yeah, it is, but my teacher, Mr. Taylor, is helping me. He went there. Terrell smiles at me. Got a piece you're working on? There's this one I'm going to send in for the audition, but I keep getting stuck on it. It was so clear in my mind over the summer. I think everything going on at school is blocking the flow. Maybe you need another pair of ears on it, Terrell suggests. When I don't say anything, he pulls out his ears and smiles. My ears are always available. He lets go of them, and I realize how big they are. It's kind of endearing. Only Mr. Taylor and Dre have really heard my piece, and Dre only did because I was lying next to him and started humming the tune. I blink hard, erasing the memory. Thanks. That would be great. There's a silence, where Terrell just stares at me like he's waiting for me to say something. It makes me nervous. I look around his living room again. What if he's seen the video? A voice whispers. What difference would that make if he has? He still is talking to me, isn't he? Doesn't think I'm a burden because of it, like everyone else. I need to stop thinking about these possibilities. And you? What are you planning on doing after high school? I ask, feeling really hot. Nothing too interesting. Probably going to try and find a job. I haven't heard a response like that in so long. I used to think like that too. In the ideal world, I'd maybe go to college, he shrugs. The world's not ideal, though. I nod, feeling awkward and privileged all of a sudden, even though I'm really not. I'm counting on scholarships, and if I don't get one, then that's it for me in college. Want to watch a movie? Terrell asks, now up from the chair, leaning beside his TV. Sure, I don't mind anything. All I watch are kids' films because of my brothers. I stopped watching movies when I realized they were a magic trick. In real life, prom isn't the best night of your life. In real life, your first time is with a boy called Scotty in the back of his dad's Rolls Royce. In real life, parents aren't together. Not even close. In real life, your dad, the only person who'd probably get your music struggles, is behind bars. Terrell looks back at me. White chicks it is. He puts the disc in, then stands, his big ears poking out, before climbing over the coffee table and taking a seat next to me, closer than I was expecting. I could smell his cologne, fruity, but at the same time not. It's a hard scent to figure out. Ever watched this before? I shake my head. It's funny, one of my favorites. My palms are sweaty. I'll probably like it, then. I'm quite easy. Terrell laughs. Easy, huh? My face burns. Didn't mean it like that, I say, smiling, leaning back now. Sure, either meaning is good for me. I raise an eyebrow, but say nothing. I hadn't given it proper thought before, but now I can't stop thinking about it. The fact that Terrell seems to be open about his sexuality and so casual about it. It's not something you can be casual about around here. The way he told me we kissed, that was his first kiss, was so casual too, and weird. I know I couldn't have kissed Terrell. I'd remember something like that, especially in middle school. I always remember kisses because they always mean something. My first girl kiss was with Wanda White in 3rd grade. She was also my first girlfriend, and I really liked her. I thought her afro was pretty cool. She ended up dumping me for some 5th grader, which I got completely. There are no hard feelings. My first boy kiss, though, was Scotty, and that wasn't until the end of freshman year, when I finally figured myself out. My first everything was with Scotty, really. I don't regret it, though. I don't like regretting things, even things with bad endings. A weight on my foot pulls me out of my thoughts, and I look down, jumping back when I see a tiny ball of fur with claws and a tail. Is that a rat? I shout, bringing my feet up onto the couch, looking away from whatever it was that violated my foot. That's bullshit. I felt something. Terrell looks amused by my discomfort. Yeah, I know. He bends over and lifts something up onto his lap. It was my cat. Bullshit. Didn't know he was in here. Sorry. Who the fuck names their cat Bullshit? I ask, face warm as I try to distract myself from how much I embarrassed myself just now. The cat sits on Terrell's thighs, staring up at me with its honey-colored eyes. It meows casually, like it didn't just give me a mini heart attack. Terrell shrugs. The name suits him. He looks serious, stroking the cat with one hand. It's so small it could probably fit in Terrell's palm. Any more surprise pets you want to warn me about? I ask, placing my feet on the floor again. Terrell shakes his head. What? You don't like animals? They're... I look at Bullshit, who stares at me like he couldn't care less about my existence. He meows again. Okay, I guess. Bullshit hops off a trail, and suddenly I jump again. I think you can grow to like him, he tells me as the cat saunters off. I swear I see the smirk on its furry face. Bullshit. Tuesday. The stairs aren't as annoying as they usually are when I enter school, but that could also be because all the lights are off. In fact, the majority of students hardly seem to notice me as I walk through the hallway. Most are distracted by the lack of light, and others are focused on Chiamaka, standing next to my locker. She's holding this ugly green bag in a Starbucks cup, with her straight brown hair pushed back by the matching green headband. When I get to her, the focus shifts to me. My heartbeat increases, but I pull my shoulders back, trying to show them they can't get to me. Can I help you? I ask Chiamaka, who still hasn't moved. The overhead lights suddenly blink back on. Chiamaka winces when she sees my face properly in the light. I can imagine how my face looks, what with all the bruising. I just wanted to tell you that I told Headmaster Ward about aces and their lies and the practical jokes. So this should be all over soon, she says quietly. She looks up at me, her deep brown eyes filled with certainty. I can't help but laugh. I haven't heard this much crap in such a long time. You think Headmaster Ward is really going to help us? I ask, because I'm genuinely perplexed. She looks at me strangely, and I think it's because I can't stop smiling. Yes, of course he will. Wow. Okay. She shakes her head. He only wants what's best for the student body. You'll see that in the prefect meeting today. I've been trying not to think about that meeting. It means more time trapped in Caucasianville. Okay, Chiamaka, I say, purposely looking between her body and my locker, hoping she'll get the hint and move. She stays, staring at me for a while. I swear there's a flash of something I describe as almost human behind her eyes. Then she finally moves. Wait, I say. She turns back. What? I think you need to be careful, I say, and I'm not sure why. I just don't like how trusting she is of Headmaster Ward. This is the same guy who looks like he dismembers cats for fun. I don't need protection. You think lies can affect me, Richards? I think we both know they aren't lies. Her eyes plead with me. I shake my head instead. She looks relieved, probably because I didn't challenge that. She gives me a tight smile. Good. I think I've wasted enough time talking to you now. Goodbye. And then she's gone. I finally open my locker, rummaging through all the crap to find my notepad for AP English and my music sheets. I notice a glimmer of something at the back, purple and silver. A USB stick? I lift it out, noticing that it's taped to the back of a playing card. I flip it around. The ace of spades. I look around the hallway as the crowd thins. I think the first warning bell has already gone off. Turning the card back around, I see the edge of a word peeking out from behind the USB. I rip off the flash drive, revealing a handwritten message. Everything is on here. Aces. The second warning bell startles me, and I throw the USB and the card into my blazer pocket before grabbing my sheets and book and heading to registration. As soon as the bell rings for lunch, I head to the library, an internal chain of what-ifs swirling through my thoughts as I quickly grab a free computer. I switch it on, then plug the USB in. The library is semi-crowded, with students mostly sitting around tables in the center or getting on with their own work. Even though I picked a seat in the corner, where no one can see my screen, I worry that someone somewhere is watching me, because they always seem to be lately. Who knows what might be on here? I sigh, anxiously waiting for the USB to load, leg bouncing up and down. I could just pull it out. I don't have a gun pointed at my head. There's no need for me to be scared. It loads. My muscles tense up. I click before I can overthink it. There's only one folder. The Life and Crimes of Chiamaka Adebayo. What the? I let the cursor hover over the file. Why do I feel guilty? Chiamaka and I aren't friends. I owe her nothing. In fact, she and I are the furthest from friendly that you can get, if you discount earlier. We're basically strangers. I click again and the screen flickers as a bunch of subfiles with all different labels descend the page. They're all timestamped to last night. One labeled 2-timer grabs my attention. I double-click, ignoring the guilt. It's a picture of Chiamaka and the guy that she's always with, kissing at some party. It's probably from when she was dating Scotty, which would explain the label. I got the message about her and some girl's boyfriend, too. She seems to have a thing for other people's boyfriends. My cursor hovers over the other files, but my moral compass is screaming at me to stop. I wonder if Ace has sent files on us to everyone else they've spoken about. Does that mean Jack, Scotty, Chiamaka, and her friend have a file on me? But then why don't I have a Scotty or Jack file? My chest is heavy, dragging and achy. Why us? Chiamaka and me. We're at the center of this, even if other people have been pulled in. I mean, there's the obvious thing. I catch a glimpse of my dark skin in the monitor, staring it down like it's going to jump out at me. I shake my head. I've gone to the school for years, and I've never had anyone bother me before. Unlike in my middle school, where I was everyone's favorite punching bag, because apparently my whole essence screams gay easy target, even when I try to hide it from everyone and myself. I look at the list of files again, scrolling a little, stopping when I see one labeled murderer. What? I look at it closely, moving forward in my seat. A murderer? Head prefect and professional teacher's ass kisser? A killer? If this is true, could I be implicated if I click on the file? Is that Ace's angle here? I shakily move away, closing the window instead. I glance around the library. People are still lost in their own worlds, so unaware of the chaos in mine. I pull the USB out of the port, watching the files disappear from the screen one by one. Who is Aces and what do they want? They're following me, getting into my neighborhood, and my home, my mind, and I don't know how to stop it. I've been watching the clock since I entered the meeting room after school. I've managed not to say a word so far, thankful that the other prefects in here are such smartasses that they take up most of the discussion with their thoughts and opinions. We, or more likely, they, are discussing the legendary Senior Snowflake Charity Ball, happening in 2 weeks. It's legendary because non-seniors are always told about the pranks pulled off at the ball. For most of the seniors, the biggest worries are what dress or suit to wear, and who they're going to prank, or be pranked by. All I can think about now is that the ball would be the perfect time for Aces to do something. The ball is compulsory, part of Nuves' special school spirit, but I'm considering faking a serious illness. Headmaster Ward looks at me all of a sudden, as if he can read my thoughts. Bringing the meeting to an end with a final point, we'll be closing parts of the school one day in the coming weeks to do a basic check of the electric networks and facilities in the building. It was meant to be done over the summer, but wasn't, so this may affect events such as the homecoming football game. We will be discussing alternate locations for the match in the next meeting. Cecilia, thank you for taking the minutes. You're free to go. Can Devon and Chiamaka stay behind, please? Ward's eyes stay on mine as he drags out each syllable, every word bursting from his mouth like dark bubbles. Me and Chiamaka glance at each other. She has a small, I told you so, smile on her face. I watch the other prefects leave. Headmaster Ward locks the door sharply behind them. Why does he have to do that? He turns back. We have found the so-called aces, if you will, he says. What? My heart jumps out from my chest. Chiamaka sits up. Thank you for looking into this, sir. Who are they? Ward says nothing at first. Chiamaka, he starts, voice low. When you came to me, I thought it was out of genuine concern. But your ill sabotage of each other proves to me that you are not serious and that you do not deserve your titles as senior prefect and head prefect. The fuck? I'm so confused. Is he trying to say that we did this to each other? Chiamaka looks horrified. What? She said. He looks so bored. It has been brought to my attention that you have both been collecting defamatory information about each other, information I discovered earlier today while looking through your personal school accounts. We do not tolerate this kind of uncivilized behavior at Nuves, and so, Devon, I'm revoking your badge for 3 weeks, since you have no prior record in good grades. You, Chiamaka, on the other hand, since this is your second misdemeanor this week alone, I'm afraid I will have to revoke your badge until further notice. You will both have detention every day after school, until further notice, and that will go on your record. Shit. I'm not behind this, headmaster, Chiamaka starts. Quiet! Ward shouts, which freaks me out because his voice changes completely. Detention starts tomorrow at 4. Please be prompt. You may leave. Chiamaka looks sick. I feel anger bubbling inside. Juilliard will see this, and there's nothing I can do about it because Ward won't even let us defend ourselves. He's made his mind up. We're guilty. I just want to get home. I take my backpack, unlock the door, and walk out. Hands on my back push me forward, and I turn quickly. So it was you, Chiamaka shouts, eyes glassy. Chiamaka. What type of lowlife spends their time trying to ruin Chiamaka? This is going to go on my record, then Yale won't accept me, and I'll be stuck at some community college where my efforts won't even matter, and I won't be able to go to my med school. Tears are spilling down from her face now. I feel a pang in my chest. Remorse. I didn't do it, I tell her calmly. She looks at me in disbelief. Why would I leak my own sex tape, call myself a drug dealer, or out myself? Or bother you, for that matter? We don't even talk. How do I know you're not behind this? She says nothing, just stares at me as I stare back. I think it's the longest we ever really looked at each other, and I'm not sure how long it lasts, but it's long enough to be significant. Her face is round, pretty, and wet. She's crying. Why is she crying? I always assumed people like Chiamaka, people with money, could buy their way into college. Why is she acting like that is not an option? And even without college, she'll have a trust fund. They always do. I watch her shoulders, which shudder like a cold breeze has passed through her. She reaches into her pocket and pulls out a red USB. Did you get this too? Why does it feel like I'm in a horror film? Yeah, I did, I say. She looks up at the ceiling, wiping her face. Follow me, she says, walking down the hallway. I follow. The heels of her shoes click loudly against the marble, while mine squeak after each step. Each sound feels deafening. We finally turn into one of the smaller libraries. She sits on a chair in front of one of the computers, and I watch her type in her school login, throwing me a look when I'm still watching as she types her password in. I sigh to myself. Why would I want her password? She plugs the USB in. I didn't get to look at your file much since I had class, but it has a lot of different folders. Maybe you can see them, you can anticipate and prepare before they strike. Or maybe we could show Headmaster Ward with the notes. So after he blamed us for doing this to each other, you seriously want to trust him again to catch the real culprits? Chiamaka ignores me, focusing on the screen instead. The computer makes a loud sound, and the message, USB not recognized, appears. She takes it out and puts it back in. The same thing happens. I think with everything going on and the rate at which my heart has been going, it seems natural causes could very well be the reasons for my death. Give me yours, she says, holding her hand out. I take my bag off and reach inside, rummaging through the books and papers, before feeling a cold metal of the USB. I grab it and give it to her. She plugs mine in and it does the same. No, 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 I hear her mutter. She hits the computer, then puts her face in her hands. The USBs were a setup, she says. Aces planted them on us. There must be something in the coding that destroys the file once they've been viewed. I swallow. Why gives us the information? To confuse us? Or, I don't know, make us scared of what the other person has seen. She squints at me a little, like she's searching my mind for what I saw. I think back to the file labeled murderer. I wonder if that has anything to do with it. She stands, shutting the computer down. I don't know why or how, but she pauses, lowering her voice now. I think someone is trying to get us expelled. Scotty and Jack too, I add. Chiamaka looks confused. Who's Jack? The other guy's ace is blasted. I say as I get my phone out, showing her the message. Jack McConnell. She shakes her head. I didn't get that. I don't think anyone I know got that either. That doesn't make sense. Thinking back, I don't remember there being the usual sea of text alerts when I got the message. Was I the only person who did? Why? So what do we do? How do we not get expelled? I ask her. This is starting to feel very real. Even more real than before. I don't know. Chiamaka pinches her nose and sighs. I need to go home and think. I'll be in touch, she says. Then she moves past me and disappears through the dark oak double doors, leaving me here with my thoughts, alone.